These two loudmouths still have mics in front of their faces. Live from New York, it's ImmaLetYouFinish podcast on the Pantheon Podcast Network. It's show 139. Ames.
That's about how old I feel right
I
now.
miss thing. Don't even get me started, okay? It's like, listen.
All right, listen. Oh my fucking God, I just swallowed a cough drop. If I Sorry. Wow, that was scary. All right, if I suddenly choke and die in the middle of the show, wow, it just like went right down my throat.
Well,
but I am also the woman who swallowed like a whole bunch of teeth the other.
All right,
anyway,
I'm going to say to you, that's a skill that shows you still got it.
God. Well, I also have no teeth on the right side of my mouth,
but you still got it.
I guess why the meth hookers are the best. So I've read. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, Courtney Anderson, this week should be a week off from work, a week off from everything, because New Yorkers, long-suffering Knicks fans, I mean, I'm screaming at the TV, which is embarrassing.
No, I've been screaming
and jumping up and down off the couch.
My whole body's been recoiling at moments, like, all pulled back. Is kind of nuts.
Yeah. Knicks are ahead 3-1.
Like, who saw that coming? But it's amazing. First of all, postseason basketball is always a fun time in the city, right? We had
if we're in it.
We had two teams in the postseason. The Nets got swept by Philly, so they're done. Right. I mean, who saw that coming? And the Knicks being the one.
Oh, I saw that coming.
Well, everyone,
too much hype, yeah.
Literally everyone had. Listen, the series isn't over, but everyone had the Knicks being, like, literally getting the floor wiped with them by Cleveland, and Donovan Mitchell was just going to embarrass us, and we were going. And our scrappy New York Knicks have really been good, quite impressive with the level of fight that they've had in them.
It's. I mean, that's all. I mean, yes, okay. Cleveland was the favored, and we understand why and stuff like that. But no, they've just looked great. There's just I can't imagine that there's any other arena that is as loud as the Garden.
It's been rocking, man.
No, it's been rocking. The celebrity row is good celebrities.
I mean, the celebrity row is so crowded that they're in the first couple of rows. There's that many people.
It's great.
All those Knicks that are alive that have been.
I love that. I love seeing John Starks and Latrell high-fiving people. Mm-hmm. No, it's just been a great series. Listen, if it ends,
RJ it ends, finally came up. Listen,
I mean, it's a great series. It's been
closing
a great
out
series.
The series is always the hardest thing, right? So Cleveland is going to absolutely play. Yeah, but
according to this stupid statistics they put up all the time, 95% of the time. Oh, you probably knew this because
we're the Knicks. We can end up in the other 5%, so we have to go in there and listen.
What's the next two games in Cleveland?
The next two would be in Cleveland, I believe. Yes.
So if it goes to 7,
Wednesday. Actually, if it goes to 7, because Cleveland has home court advantage, it would be in the game 7. I believe would be in Cleveland.
So they have the next 2, or they have the next. They split it up 1-1. I don't know. Whatever. We'll take it wherever.
But I know tomorrow's game is absolutely in Cleveland.
Okay.
And the closeout game is always the hardest because the other team is always desperate to not want to go home.
Go figure. Okay, can I just say, you probably knew this already. So I'm watching the game and I'm looking at the backs of people's jerseys because obviously, and I'm like, LeVert, that's like a really unnamed. So that's Eddie LeVert's third cousin. Karis LeVert. Yes, I Googled it. He is Eddie, because I was like, LeVert is not a common name. Mm-hmm. If his name was Karis Mitchell or Karis Johnson, I'd be like, he is Eddie LeVert's third cousin, so he's Gerald LeVert's second cousin. He's a LeVert. He's actually related to the LeVert.
And can I just say something?
You may.
White Nick is kind of hot. I was
Well,
like,
I wouldn't say
I'm,
hot. White Nick is kind of playing his ass off,
and he's
okay?
hot.
All right,
He's
well,
always got a really good haircut. You know, I appreciate grooming because
well,
all of these young men, like, nobody seems to want to get a haircut. I'm like,
no,
it's
no,
the
no. Who's
playoffs.
the
Can you
guy
at
on the
least get?
Cavaliers who's got the blonde hair and it's
I'm
too
like,
much?
can
I don't
we?
No,
You know,
what?
the barbers will come to you now. They'll come to you. You
No,
don't
they
have to
will.
go anywhere.
But I will say that White Nick, he has a name, Hartenstein,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Is he a foreign White Nick or is he a
I don't
local White
know.
Nick?
I don't think
I'm
he's.
assuming
I
he's
think he's
foreign.
local. No, I
Is he
think.
local?
Let's look it up. Hold on.
Look
I'll
it
look it
up
up
as
while
we're
we're
talking.
talking.
But anyway, White Nick and we can say that because I'm white and Courtney has permission
Oh
from
my God!
me.
Wait, I think you're right.
He's
He's
a foreign
German.
Nick.
He
Yeah.
is German American.
But he's from the Germany. He's not
Actually, but
from
he
the
was
United.
born in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, even better. White Nike endorsed Nick.
He is the son of Florian, a German basketball coach and former professional basketball player of Afro-German descent.
What?
What?
Wait a minute. What?
Oh, okay. So all right.
He's black?
And his mother is American.
Oh, there goes the whole. I thought we had a white. No, we don't have
Okay,
a
in
white.
2008, his family, they moved to Germany where his father was playing professionally.
Oh man, I thought we had 100% white. Wah, wah.
Well, he's still our white. We'll like, you know
I
what?
mean, he's not like unicorn. He's not like the unicorn in the
Right.
whiteness. I can't
Mhm.
believe this is degenerated into this conversation.
Mhm.
But the thing is, it's always fun to have a white, you know,
A
because
white
then
neck.
you can
Mhm.
a white neck, a white any,
Mhm.
you know, it's fun, you know.
Mm.
He's just playing phenomenal, and that's all I want to say. And Julius Randle is just is laying low and not drawing every bad call in the
I can
word.
hear the DMs we're gonna get now. They're gonna be like,
No,
they're like, it's always fun to have a white. Listen, guys, we're equal opportunity
people.
offensive.
No, I'm not saying anything offensive at all.
No, it's not offensive. I said not offensive. I just said, listen, people are sensitive. Every dumb thing, like we always get all the DMs like, I don't understand. What did that mean? And I'm always like, okay, you're listening to the wrong show if you would like political correctness and niceness.
No, but I always put like when I say like I'm going to the Europe.
No,
I always put like
absolutely. Listen, you don't have to explain to me. I just always find it funny. Like,
I enjoy it.
You don't know, people always love to DM me about things that you've said or things that I've said, and I'm always like, oh, girl, like what? Like, listen,
yeah, really, people are dying in Ukraine. Really,
this is a show for, we just say irreverent shit. We're equal opportunity.
I like the word intelligent, not irreverent. I believe we're intelligent. And if you're
something.
And if you're intelligent,
yeah,
you have the intelligence to figure out when somebody is obviously making a deliberate statement and that is not. Listen, Courtney, some of my best friends are white, as you know.
And I think you might actually have a woman or two in there with the best.
Yes, and I love white people so much that I actually gave birth to one.
Oh my God, did you?
I did.
Amazing.
So I can't tell you how many people were
shocked.
No, they were more shocked that I was like, I'm not even getting into that. All right, so the Nets are gone. Everybody's a big phony baloney because they're walking around with their Knicks gear now.
Oh my God. Let me just tell you something.
Phony
Harlem,
baloney.
I saw so many Knicks. I've seen Knicks shorts, Knicks jerseys, Knicks hats,
buttons,
Knicks colored sneakers, and
Knick-knack,
orange
paddywhack,
and blue.
give a dog a bone.
But I love it, right? Because you and I have said it this June will make the 4th anniversary of this show. And
I thought you could say the 4th anniversary of us loving the Knicks.
And we have been saying from the beginning, listen, New York can have as many basketball teams as they want, but New York City is and always will be a Knicks town. Even when they suck and they're doing bad, it's still a Knicks town.
Yeah, that's why
it's exciting when they do well. You know what I mean? You can feel that energy.
Listen, like I said.
Did you see the fans shut down 7th Avenue after the game? They literally shut down 7th Avenue. We don't even know how to act. We're like, Is this actually happening? Are we winning something?
No, well, at least we don't set shit on fire like the white trash in other cities
Oh my
do
God.
anyway. I'm
And
sorry, not the white trash, the white people of limited education. Can I just say something though?
uh,
When I was in college the
mhm,
first time, which was a
mm,
long time ago in the '80s, you could get Nick tickets. Or now,
mhm,
obviously, everything was cheaper in New York in the
mhm,
'80s and
mhm.
in the world. You could get tickets day of game at the Garden with a college ID for half price.
Yep. And they weren't ridiculously priced back then. It
No,
wasn't
no,
like
no, no, no,
now where a
no, no,
ticket
no,
is
no.
like $400 for the
No, I
cheap
actually
seats. Yeah.
sat within, like, viewing distance of a game. I saw Bernard King and Kelly
Mhm.
Tripucka. He was a good white too, Kelly
Yeah.
Tripucka.
Mhm.
Not for
Mhm.
our team, obviously, but he was a quality, as Elliot Wilson used to call me, a
A quality
quality
white.
white. I am a quality white. I'm trying to get that
You need
on
that on
my
a
ID.
t-shirt.
I am a quality
You
white,
need that
except
on a
that
t-shirt.
nobody would understand it, and
Right.
they would also think I'm talking about Virgil Abloh or something
Right.
like that. All right. Well, speaking of unquality whites, Phil
Mhm.
Jackson. What the what? Okay. So Phil Jackson, very renowned, acclaimed, winning coach, used to be a Knick. Wasn't he a
Mhm.
76er and then he was a
It's
Knick?
some
It's a
shit.
million years ago.
Mhm.
And he used to always look, I'm doing this so you can see he had really broad shoulders.
Mhm.
He always looked like he kept his hangers in his clothes when he was
Mhm.
playing. Anyway, great player, blah, 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 blah. So I, reading up on this, he has been saying stupid stuff for a while. And I
Yep.
think people always assume that because you're, in a sport that's dominated by one, race or another, or you're a Buddhist, you're going to be a little cooler. Anyway, he's like not watching basketball anymore because it's gotten too political and Black Lives Matter and and it's like, go away. What an awful thing, stupid thing to say. So he's turning a little
Well, and
Rogan-esque,
the
but
thing that
from
I
what I've
find,
read, this
yeah,
has been happening for a while,
the thing that I find interesting about that is it's like, as a black man in this country, it's like we're a little over people in the society being okay with us entertaining them, but yet acting like we're not part of a community that is being disenfranchised. It's like, how dare us have anything to say? We're here to entertain you. We're here so that you can clap and do all of this stuff, but we're not supposed to be affected. It's like that league, you have a league that is mostly
That's like what, 97% black,
black.
and you don't think maybe these issues that are going out
It's
in the
like
world are impacting your team?
and the community is like, you're acting like we don't have families, and these men don't have families. And guess what? A lot of them, when they're not on the court, they're just some tall black person that somebody might see, and it's even worse for them driving a nice car, being stopped in certain neighborhoods. So Phil Jackson, have 5,000 fucking seats,
Well, it's just really
and then
unfortunate, and
move over
again,
and take 5,000 more fucking
well,
seats.
it's just but the thing is that it's just really because honestly, when someone says they have a problem with politicalization of something, sports are political. Everything is political. Everything is political. It's seen eventually through a political, not in the sense of Democrat, Republican, but socioeconomic, political. And you say that, and then you're one step away from saying something about it. Did he have a problem when people were wearing "Get rid of Kyrie"? You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
you usually don't hate one group or have no issue with one group.
right.
Usually, when you have an issue with a group, you're pretty you spread it. I've never met anybody who hates gay people but loves black people. It's usually
Right.
you go all encompassing. So which is why, if you don't like gay people and don't like black people, Don Lemon getting fired. Whee!
I mean,
He's the worst.
you know what's really interesting about Don?
Nothing.
I didn't, it turned the corner for me. First of all, I stopped watching cable news a couple of years ago. I was an obsessive CNN person. It was my background while working. I put the TV on and it would just play all day. And I started to realize, I think it was really the 2016 election that turned me off to keeping news on as background noise, because I like information. So, hearing stuff all day, but I started to realize just people screaming at me all day kind of was changing my mood, right? And it's like, I don't need to hear any side screaming at me all day. And I used to watch Don when he started on CNN, and he was there on the weekends, and I thought he was great. And then he got his own show that was great. Then it started changing, get a little weird, and I stopped watching CNN altogether. And, he's put his foot in his mouth a lot. But I will say, it is clear to me that the new bosses at CNN did not like him. And after 17 years of being there, the way he was let go.
We don't know how the way he was let go. That's
hold
his
on.
version of it.
Well, let me finish my thought. Right. Thank you. His version of it is they should have done at least how Fox did with Tucker Carlson. He was on the air Friday. He should not have been fired. Do it on Friday so you don't have him come in on Monday, do a show, and then fire him after the show. Now, right, we don't know how that happened, but I do know firing somebody on Monday after you let them go on the air when you know you're going to fire them seems shitty, like a move to embarrass him. And after 17 years someplace, where you had your name on a 2-hour primetime show for a lot of years, you absolutely, that part could have been handled differently. With that being said,
he brought it on himself.
Well, listen.
And the new thing, you never put him in a daytime show. He is not a daytime show person.
Which seemed like a demotion. Didn't that feel like a demotion?
Well, it's also, it's like he's not in the morning. And I go back and forth between, MSNBC and CNN, but in the morning, the audience is primarily women. Right. It's people getting their kids ready for school. It's people getting ready. So if you're going to Morning Joe, you're willing to sit down and listen to the discourse, and they have issues too. But if you're on CNN, you just sort of want the news, and you don't want someone up there who, quite frankly, does not have any respect for you as an audience. And this is not the first time he's been called out for this.
Got breaking news that Harry Belafonte died.
Oh, all right. Well, let's stop talking about Don Lemon then.
Well,
that's sad. All right. Yeah. Well, let's mention that. But anyway, the thing with Don Lemon is that it was like when producers don't have guests saying, I don't want to be on the air with him, then it's time to go. So I feel I don't feel in a holistic sense, fine. He will be fine. He's a rich man. He will be fine. I just think that it was so evident at how disrespectful he was to his coworkers. It was seeping out of his pores. That said, him being fired is going to have absolutely no impact on the political and cultural discourse of this country. Tucker Carlson being fired is going to change a conversation because Tucker Carlson. Do you think so?
Because I think they're just going to replace it with something horrible. They're not going to change their.
No. But you don't understand. His audience is already cooked. He's already converted a bunch of lunatics. He is no disrespect to Don Lemon, but Tucker Carlson was the most powerful broadcaster in the country.
I have a friend who feels exactly the way you feel. She said to me last night, she was upset that both of the firings happened the same day. She said, because she said, Don, she thinks he's a pain in the ass. She was like, he's horrible, right? I've stopped liking him a long time ago. But like you're saying, she said, Tucker Carlson to me is dangerous and has been dangerous. And he needs to be the focal point of this whole day.
Well, he is, honestly, if you watch. And
that's what I told her. I said, no, he is actually. I said, yes, people are mentioning Don, but the bigger story is him.
It's Tucker Carlson.
For Don Lemon not to see that he was going to be fired, I was like, were you sitting next to Stevie Wonder? Because everybody could see that
when they take you off the air for a week, that's basically start getting your resume
and then
together.
When they start leaking the stories to, like an insider says, it's CNN on page 6 straight for a week, that is it's coming.
No, but the Tucker Carlson thing, because he's involved.
Very dangerous.
There's many lawsuits coming down the pike, and
they're saying, look, these people are tourists and visitors. It's just.
But the woman who is suing him, but they didn't fire him for any of that stuff. They didn't fire him when he said anti-Semitic stuff. They didn't fire him when he said racist stuff.
We actually don't know why they fired him because they haven't said
it. There's theories out there, and part of it is that he's a liability now because there is a very big sexual harassment suit coming that is very credible.
Yes,
and there's a smart
Fox is already
No, but this is sexual. And they got rid of those guys they got rid of them. Bill O'Reilly, Roger Ailes. They also got rid of a lot of people this weekend too, sort of the more fringy conservative people. So I would love, because Tucker was such a fear-mongering, racist anti-Semite about replacement theory, I think they should hire a black, gay, Jewish person. He's convinced that black and Jewish people are taking over the jobs from white people. So if Don Lemon could convert to Judaism, I think that would be amazing.
If they hate him over at Fox, they would.
No,
He's been
I'm
there.
kidding, obviously.
The interest. Well, I'm just saying, because where you think about where would he go? Like, where would he's not gonna want to be like a Megyn Kelly who suddenly is now just running your show on YouTube. You know what I mean? That's not what he's gonna want. He's used to being Don Lemon, and Tucker Carlson is already getting people to sign up to his website.
Tucker Carlson will be fine. First off, they probably had to buy him out of his contract.
Same thing with Don, because Don's contract wasn't up, so I'm sure
but no one of note is. I'm just saying, Tucker Carlson. Don Lemon being fired is like, okay, but Tucker Carlson, when politicians are asked Tucker Carlson has footage that had 96 hours of footage from the insurrection. I'm sure Don Lemon does not have access to that kind of stuff. So good riddance, really good riddance to the two of them, but more good riddance to Tucker Carlson. So goodbye. All right, yay. Coachella.
I guess it happened. This seems like the most other than Frank Ocean and his some foolery. This seems like the most non-event. Do you feel like we're coming to the end of the hype around all of these festivals? Because now it just seems like spend a lot of money, but like nothing's really happening.
I hope so.
You're not coming out. There's been nothing groundbreaking. It just seems like
there's I hate to keep him headlining is groundbreaking. And that is a major, major step. That said, now they've broken that ground. But who's the big acts right now? There are no big rock acts, right? Mm-hmm. There's no big rock band. Nope. There's no really big rap artist right now, like a headlining rap artist. I mean, Kendrick is always perennially big, and he's doing other shows. Bad Bunny,
but that doesn't feel like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like an event. Right. Bad Bunny is the dominant, they're not. Taylor Swift is on her own tour
so much that doesn't feel like an event either. It really doesn't.
The Taylor Swift?
Even her, like nothing really feels like an event. It just feels
like.
Well,
I mean, she gets coverage every day in the Times. There's always some stupid article about people but what I'm saying is there's not. We're still coming out of, I think, of a mentality of being isolated. But no, this was not a star power, huge, bringing out interesting people kind of event. It just was. I don't think Coachella has much meaning anymore.
It's like Made in America just announced pre-sales opening up for Made in America, but they didn't announce any artists. Is that
the Roots thing?
Made in America is the one,
Rock Nation,
Jay-Z, that happens in Philly. And it's like, it always seems like, well, who are we buying tickets?
I'm assuming it's going to be him. No. It's got to be him at this point. I mean, he's kind of been making forays into.
I don't think it would be like. Hasn't he already done Made in America?
Yeah, but he can do it again. I mean, that's the thing. There are always, if you haven't, there's nobody. Is there seriously?
Does that even seem exciting at this point?
Yeah, it would be if Jay-Z performed. Yeah, I mean, there's a generation of people who have not seen Jay-Z, and he's still a great live. Yes, of course. If you're 20, when have you seen Jay-Z perform? When's the last time he did a tour? Seriously. He put out a record how many years ago? When's his last record? 7 years ago?
Didn't he tour around that? He toured around that album.
Yeah, but if you're 20 or 21, there's a very good chance you haven't seen Jay tour. The point is that would be somewhat of an event. But it is 50th
I've seen
anniversary.
More than I've seen any other hip hop artist.
It's 50th anniversary of hip hop. They could pull something out of their ass and it could be interesting. But there is nobody out there right now that is, like, oh my God, I have to get tickets. I guess except for Taylor Swift. I mean, I guess that's the only show that's a guaranteed frenzy. Everything else is just a band touring.
And I guess the Beyonce tour coming up, right? Because that seems to have excitement around it.
Yeah.
That actually starts next month in Europe. So we're getting close to the kickoff of. And we'll know what that's going to be soon enough. And then Madonna goes out starting in July. But those, to me, those are now, honestly, heritage acts, right? Because they
Oh,
can always go
completely.
out and they have the catalogs of
Well,
music.
Beyonce is not yet old enough to be a heritage. I mean,
Well,
she
I would
has
say
a
that a
new
little.
album. I
She
mean,
does
she
it. She does, but I would also say, you know, as much as people want to go and hear the new album, she's got 20 something years worth of hits that people are
right.
hoping to hear some of their favorite songs on. She is an artist, like, because with the Mrs. Carter tour, and that was 2013, she went out on the road and did not. That tour was announced and the album wasn't even out yet, right? So she
Right.
is one of those now on the strength of her name can say, I'm going out on the road and people are going to buy
Oh,
tickets
of
whether there's a
course.
new
Yeah,
album or
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I just think that she's still a viable recording artist as
Absolutely,
opposed to
but she's now in that category to me of both. Like, you've been
yeah.
doing it a long time, and it's like you have a new album which gets supported tour, but you could also just say I'm going on tour, and people would absolutely come to the shows.
Well, considering the overhyped praise that Renaissance got, she could probably do a Renaissance tour too. She
Yeah.
really could if she wanted to.
Well,
I mean,
hopefully, like what hopefully this tour will be
50-50
and
or
well.
70-30.
And I think as much as people love this album, she tends to, especially when she has a new album, she does put a lot of that music in her show. So hopefully this will be just a full-on 2-hour dance party, you know?
All right, Ed Sheeran is a big thief.
I
Um,
mean, dude,
this is like the
he's,
4th time.
he stays in a
This is
fucking
the 4th time.
copywriting lawsuit. It's
All right.
kind of crazy.
All right, so his 2014 song Thinking Out Loud, which is kind of a creepy song to be
Which
honest with you.
won Record of the Year, I believe, Record
I
of the Year
don't
or
know.
Song
I
of the
mean,
Year, the Grammy
he's one of
thing.
those guys. I don't hate him. I just don't get it. But I have nothing. He's a good songwriter. If a woman looked like that, they would never get signed. But that's a whole nother conversation. That you can be look like you, whatever he looks like and get signed. No, if a woman looked like Ed Sheeran, would she get signed? Be honest. The female
Right,
woman equivalent of a sort of dressed down, ginger with freckles, kind
right.
of diminutive, not buff. Would a woman who looked like that get signed? Survey says no. Anyway, so he's being sued by Marvin Gaye's estate and one of the guys who co-wrote the song saying that his 2014 song Thinking Out Loud, I wrote it down, contains the heart of the song of Let's Get It On, harmonic progression, melodic, rhythmic elements. Now, this is not the first time he's been sued, period. He had to give Candy Burris and Company writing credit on Shape of You because it was no scrubs, right? I mean,
Well, that was settled. He won a case last year for was it for my body or your body,
yeah,
I believe.
something. Yeah, he won
And
that.
he had and there was another song called "The Photograph,"
Right.
which was from years ago that he also had. There was a settlement for. Now,
Did you listen to the 2
yes,
songs?
I
Me
have,
too. Yeah.
and you can hear a similarity in the
Yeah.
building block. Now, with that being said,
There's only so many notes in the drawer.
there's you know what I mean?
So
Like there are similarities, but it's different. And there's only but so many. There have been songs being made at this point for hundreds of years.
millions of years.
It's just kind of like
There is
I
there is
it,
okay. There is let's put it this way. It's not like the Robin Thicke blurred lines thing, which
mhm,
where when you first hear the song, you think you're gonna hear Got to Give It Up, and then suddenly
right.
it's like, why is Robin Thicke singing this song? That
Mhm,
was like, are you kidding me? It's not George Harrison, My Sweet Lord, and he's so fine. We're like, George, really? Did you really not hear that this is the exact same song?
mhm.
Knowing that he's being sued and hearing the song, I went, "Yeah, there is some similarity." I mean, Harry Styles used, oh, I forget the song, but it was very much like Badfinger's, Baby Blue. But I don't know. If I were Ed Sheeran, I would literally cross my I's and dot my cross my I's and dot my T's or whatever every time because he does this. He's a repeat offender and he's not a bad guy and he's a musician. See, that's the thing. He's a musician and he's
Yeah,
writing these songs.
but part of me is like, is that on purpose or is it
I
that
don't know if it's on purpose, but you have to be
yeah,
super caught. I can't imagine he's going, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a song, but it sure
I know
sounds
from
like it.
working at different management companies that just some people who are just out there looking for lawsuits. This sounds like my record, and there are going to be things that sound similar.
Yeah, but this is a legitimate. I don't know.
Yeah, but when you hear it, it does not.
It's similar.
That sort of building block, but his melody and the melody of "Let's Get It On" are different.
They'll settle.
They're not the
it's
same.
like Tom Petty with "Don't Back Down." And
I
there's
don't know if
another
they'll settle because here's the thing: this suit was first brought up 6 years ago, and now why we're talking about it today is jury selection has started and the trial's about to begin. You know what I mean? If they were going to settle, this would have been settled. So he's fighting. You know, he's fighting. And you know what? I think you should fight. If you're like, it's difficult. It's difficult because so many songwriters, we see this all of the time, and there is only but so many chords you can play. Everybody's pulling from the same chords, you know, they really, really are. And if you have something that's similar and somebody can come and say, well, I did that first and you took mine, the waters are just getting so muddied. So muddy. It's hard to be a songwriter.
He'll throw him some money. And because his reputation is
not
also in line at this point too.
He is going to try. It has been that would have happened.
Yeah.
So now
well, they said that about the Fox Dominion thing too. It went up until the day before the trial.
Yeah, but this isn't day before the trial, right? This is, and it wasn't 6 years in that when the first suit. I think for 6 years he's been fighting all of these suits, and if he was going to settle, I think he's saying that I didn't take your song, and it's not the gay side that has brought this suit.
No, it's the co-write. It's gays
are not. The gays are not in this suit, which is very interesting to me because, as you know, they are very litigious.
Right.
And I feel like if they felt that, they would have been a part of this suit. So that to me is interesting that they are not part of this suit because they're not shy about protecting the intellectual properties of
and the legacy. Yeah, the legacy.
You know? So this should be interesting. But I just think that nobody can have that much bad luck. Well, anyway, we're going to take a break. We will be right back in a second.
Pantheon Podcast listeners, Christian Swain here to tell you more about my experience with Raycon earbuds. Our family now has 3 pairs of Raycon earbuds around the house, and my wife just grabbed a pair of the Headphone Pros to replace some headphones from a company that was double the price. And yes, she loves them. Now, if you haven't pulled the trigger on a pair of Raycons, or even if you have, but you're in the market for another pair because they're just that good, well, now is the time to check them out because they just launched their upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds. With Raycon's upgraded everyday earbuds, now you also get active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. New quick charge function, 3 customizable sound styles, plus awareness mode. Available in a variety of vibrant new colors to complement any and all skin tones. I even have a pair of earbuds in a cool green color. I have tried just about every earbud known to humankind, and these Raycons are fantastic. Seriously, if you've been wanting to check out Raycons, there truly is no better time. You're going to ask yourself why you didn't check them out sooner, and Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go to buyraycon.com/Pantheon today to get 20% off your Raycon order, plus free shipping. That's right, you'll get 20% off and free shipping at buyraycon.com/Pantheon. buyraycon.com/Pantheon.
And we're back. What's next?
So Aaron Rodgers was going to retire. He's a jerk. He was going to retire, and then he went into the woods and took some
Like
ayahuasca,
ayahuasca, and
ayahuasca
went to like a silent retreat.
retreat, which I have no problem with. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people have done silent. I
I
know
know. I
people have
have
done
friends that do them
ayahuasca
all the
too.
time. Yeah, all of the
But
things.
and then he comes out and he has his clarifying, as Candace and I say, his moment of clarity is, I know I've gone from the woods. I want to move to New York and play for a crap team. And I want them to give up everything they have, including the letter J in front of their name. I don't care about, I
They
don't
didn't
care
give
about
up
football.
everything they have, though.
I
That's the
don't care
good
about
thing. We have a lot of good young players that came last year.
I'm not,
really, really
when
good.
it comes to the Jets, it's a you.
No, we
I
didn't give
don't-
up everything we had. Actually, I think both sides won out in this.
But isn't he past his prime at this
Well,
point?
no, he's still been playing great. I just think that, okay, how many years you're going to get out of him? Because we still are going to need a quarterback. Because knowing Aaron Rodgers, he can play 1 year and be like, you know what? Okay, good. I did it. Now I'm done.
Do we need I just don't like
And this
him.
is the second aging quarterback we've gotten from Green Bay. Remember last time we got Brett Favre?
I never.
From
You have to understand that I don't pay attention to football at all. I pay attention in the sense that I watch the Super Bowl, but it's not. I honestly, I just don't. It's not a sport that interests me.
Listen, it'd be great for. Listen, I will just say this:
it would be good for the box office.
I'll say the Jets games, home games, will all sell out. So it'll be rocking. It'll be rocking at MetLife all next season.
But I just don't like him. I don't think we need another negative, privileged dork coming here. I just don't. The whole vibe of him bothers me. I mean, his whole arrogance and sort of like in vaccine and. I have the fact that he does how you pronounce it?
Ayahuasca.
Which I got no problem with. I mean, go. I wouldn't do it, but
I forgot about his vaccine fuckery.
Oh no, he's Djokovic. No, the whole thing is just
he was all like, "Yes, I da 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 da."
No, I just don't need. We don't need why do we need to import bad? No, he's not a bad person holistically, but I just get Trumpy vibes off of him, and whatever. I mean. Yay, football. Chuck D and my son will be very happy if the Jets win. Chuck D is a big. All right. So I love Charles Barkley, love. I used to cut out when he would say crazy things, which I thought were hilarious. I would put him on my refrigerator. Like once he said, my mom said to me, how can you be a Republican? That's only for rich people. And Charles Barkley said, I am the rich people. And I thought he was like, and then when they were playing Angola in the Olympics and he said, I'm going to throw a foul even if the player looks like he hasn't eaten in a while. I thought that was hilarious.
Or when he talks about those big old women down in San Antonio.
Yeah, I love him. And he is a really good broadcaster and he is really funny. So he's getting a talk show. The problem is that the incredibly overestimated Gayle King. Oh my, why? I'm going to be polite and say, we know why.
Okay, let me just say this.
So Charles Barkley with a show would be hilarious.
She's a very nice lady.
Okay, so whatever.
Very
I'm sure
nice
she
lady.
Is.
Very, very, very nice lady. But I do not enjoy her as a broadcaster.
Me neither.
I just never have.
No, I don't get it. I mean, I get it. I know exactly why she's getting.
I was at an event once when I was working in management, and she was interviewing a client that I would work with on stage, and I just thought she was terrible, and I just was like, "Oh, God, this is really painful."
She's kind of mediocre, but we know why she's getting.
Yeah,
she's
so
nice.
She and Charles. Listen, I'm gonna keep saying that because she's an older black lady, and I have a black mom, so I feel a responsibility.
But your
to my
black mom is not forging a career on mediocrity.
Listen. That's not what this is about, okay?
And she's not that old, Gayle King. Come on.
I said older black lady. I don't know. Right. We have to all start acting like in our 50s that's young. Yes, we are middle-aged, 50s and 60s. Yeah. We older kids. We're
right. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely older. I'm just saying she's mediocre. I'm sure she's perfectly nice. She's not a very good interviewer.
So they're going to have a live show on Wednesday night starting this fall called King Charles?
Like the Spaniel?
I mean...
No, but I love him. He's Sir Charles. King Charles. Got it. That is stupid. That is a stupid title. Okay, because he is Sir Charles. Okay, because I'm like, King Charles. That's a
Right.
stupid title. And
Mhm.
why do you want to associate yourself with that king? There is a King Charles right now. There is an actual King Charles walking
Yeah.
around.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I like Charles
Like, who
Barkley. I
asked for
think the
that?
setup.
Who even asked for that?
No one asked for it. No one
They
asked
didn't
for it.
even ask for it. They were
No.
presented with it and they both said yes. I'm like, y'all thought this was a good idea?
Well, CNN like owned by the same people who own TNT.
I don't think so, but
Because CNN
maybe.
is not owned by the same people who own CBS. Because she's a
I mean,
CBS. I mean, so
and
think about how many doodles of money they had to throw to
ugh.
get her
Oh,
this.
and well, and him because he just signed his in the offseason a $200 million contract with TNT. So
I love him
Charles
with
Barkley
TNT.
doesn't go anywhere without coins. Any like he's a
No,
what
you
are
know
the
what? They might
coins?
have something with CNN because
Right.
Anderson Cooper's on 60 Minutes.
He is on 16. And
So there
I
might
get that
be.
all of the companies have been bought
They're the same
by
person.
like
Yeah.
everything is merged. Like I don't know what's where anymore. Like are they part of this new Discovery
No,
situation?
that's I don't know.
Because Paramount is CBS and
Yeah, so
all of
Paramount,
that.
CBS, and Peacock is NBC,
Right.
and ABC. I don't know. All their stuff ends
ABC
up
is
on
Disney. Well,
Hulu,
that's because that's all
right? And
Disney. Yeah.
Disney, and it's all on Hulu. And I don't know.
It's like two fucking companies that own everything. It
Well,
really
yeah.
is.
Hello, thank you, Republicans. No, that's why we have deregulation
Ugh.
because of Republicans. All right, this is serious, but it's also somewhat when Barry Humphries, who performed under the persona of Dame Edna, passed last week. It was obviously very sad because he was very funny.
Mhm.
But then you start reading that Barry Humphrey and very beloved Australian, the big
Mhm.
purple pompadour and very, hello possums and very funny.
Mhm.
It's the worst accent ever, but then you start reading about Barry Humphries, and Barry Humphries was kinda anti-trans, kinda not a big fan of the gays. Now, he was not a gay man. He was a straight man who had a persona as a woman, which has been going on since Shakespeare. So it kind of I'm obviously, he was an entertainer and he was beloved, but not a great guy, you know? You read those obits, right?
Mhm.
Comment on it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so why okay.
Well, because I didn't know a lot of that before, and I just find it disappointing. It always feels like, you know, because I always thought Dame Edna was a great character and was
Great
really,
character.
really, really funny. And I always, actually in my head thought he was gay, like Paul O'Grady, who recently passed, who rose to fame as Lily Savage in the UK. It's so interesting how all of these character men who have had drag characters who've had their own shows and household names in the UK for all these years, and then you see what's happening here with drag and how they've
They have a very
sexualized
different history
it.
of it there,
Yeah, and sexualized it here and made it into this whole other thing, And it's like, people are human, right? So you realize, oh right, yeah, you are an actor, you do these things. That doesn't mean you actually believe. And people will do the thing that makes them money, even if they have sort of weird feelings about the community that it kind of plays into.
Well, kind of. I mean, I listen, I have told you this, and I will tell I am of a mixed opinion about drag,
Yeah.
which I don't and a lot of women are of a mixed opinion about drag. That said, I would never in a million years tell somebody that they can't do drag or want to ban a drag show. I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't care about that. But I have my own relationship with drag.
It's true, but what I think about drag is this is I think because of RuPaul's Drag Race, suddenly people are trying to make drag this mainstream thing, and drag is always it's like punk. It's like an act of
It's supposed to be
defiance.
subversive.
It is subculture. It's an act of defiance. It's not about people's approval or disapproval. And this whole thing with kids, I have a personal belief, like that I think that most drag entertainment is adult entertainment, right? And when I see parents who are making their the choice to bring their kids to these drag brunches, I'm thinking to myself, well, you're bringing them into an adult atmosphere, and those drag performers are put into a fucked up, compromising position because it's like, should I have to change my act because this is adult entertainment? And now that everybody's trying to make it mainstream, people are trying to villainize the humor. But like you said, it is subculture. It is like punk. It will never be mainstream.
Right.
Never, ever, ever. And it shouldn't be mainstream. And RuPaul's drag is not drag. That is a pageant where people are now spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on really expensive outfits to come on TV to hopefully kick off their careers and be able to tap into that lucrative touring market and to make songs and things. That is not drag.
Right. Not at all. Another pop culture, no pun intended, person who died last week is Mark Stewart, who was one of the founders of the pop group. Not a group that a lot of people heard. Very important early punk, post-punk group. I remember that first album, a British group. I think
what was the name of the group? You didn't say the name.
The pop group. I said it.
Oh wait, that was actually the name.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the name. I'm like, oh, it's a pop group. And you're like, no bitch, the pop group. I've never heard of the pop group ever.
Well, there you go. Well, the reason you might have known of them is that Nena Cherry was part of an offshoot of pop group Rip, Rig, and Panic. And Nena Cherry was married to pop group's drummer, Bruce Smith. That's the father of her first kid. So that Rip, Rig, and Panic was well known in... Yeah, I mean, pop group did not have hits and stuff like that, but that first album, and I can't for the life of me remember the title, I apologize. I mean, everyone owned that first album, but it's sad, and he was young, and, pop group. It was called pop group. Hence that's why I kept saying pop group.
And then, like I said, rest in peace to Harry Belafonte, actor, activist, I believe 96 years
legend.
Old, icon and legend.
Everything.
In every sense of the word.
Everything. If you want to read, and I'm sure you have read it, or I'm sorry, we'll read the book, but also see the documentary about him. I mean, the depth of this man's life was extraordinary.
Yeah. There's a full story
extraordinary.
And
you're sitting there going, okay, he was an activist, and then you're like, holy crap, he was literally shepherding like Martin. It's an actually he just an extraordinary man. I know people who worked with him, and he was active up until sort of the very end. And 96 is a good, nice, long life. And but a great, great, great. He's someone who should get a stamp.
Absolutely.
After him, for sure. He should definitely get a stamp. And what's with the Proust trial? He's going to get convicted,
okay,
right?
So
he's going to get
convicted. Out to the jury.
He's going to get convicted, right? Come on.
Here's the thing.
He's going to get convicted.
So he was given $100 million, and then the stuff he was giving to people who were donating to the Obama re-election campaign, and then going to Trump to try to get a pardon for... When I heard all of that, I'm like, I'm very confused, but what I keep hearing is I feel like he's going to prison.
He's going to get convicted. And then if he gets convicted, wouldn't he have to be deported?
No,
was he born here or born in Haiti?
I believe he was born here. I believe he's born here. I think he was born
in Haiti. How was he able to run for office in Haiti if he was?
No, he didn't run for office. Wyclef tried to run.
No, they both did. He was doing something in office too. Well, anyway, I think he's going to get convicted. We've discussed this before.
He was born in New York.
Oh, but they'll deport him just because of that. What part of New York? No, I mean, he's a nice guy. I've met him. Always very unclear what he did in the group, but he's a nice guy. But yikes. I mean, this is one of those cases. When the feds are bringing the cases, it's usually like they've done their homework beforehand. It's like, we were both like, he's an unregistered agent?
For China?
For China? Like, what bad Netflix spy thriller is this from? Yeah. I gotta say, if you look from member by member of the Fugees, they're like the messiest group I think ever in the history of
2
music, right?
albums and a lifetime of just
I mean, Wyclef's messy, he's messy, she's it's just like you're like, wow, who would have saw this coming?
I mean, 100. So could someone just give me $100 million? And
Well,
he just
sure.
thought, well, that was, what did he say on the stand? Well, I just thought that was like free money. I'm like,
Well, here's the part
something.
that's really
I'm like,
hilarious.
$100 million?
Here's the part that's really hilarious. The part that's really hilarious is that somebody thought that Praz had enough clout to do. But I guess that's
Wasn't
why.
it like photo op? Somebody got.
But that's
was
like that's why like Steven Seagal is like a Russian citizen because they actually think that if you can get to Steven Seagal, you can get somewhere. It's like somebody actually thought the Chinese went, oh, we need an American rap star, Praz.
I mean,
was Spliff Star unavailable? And Spliff
listen,
Star has a career.
Listen, stranger things have happened.
Well,
and
they obviously did
Here are
happen.
stranger things that have happened.
I mean, I don't know. I hope he doesn't go to jail, but he's going to jail or something. He's going to be convicted. I don't know if he'll go to jail, but
this is federal. If he is convicted,
he's going to
federal,
jail.
And they're saying he could face up to 22 years in prison.
Well, poor John Forte, who is a lovely guy, did 10 years, didn't he?
He sure did.
And he's lovely.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Lovely guy. All right, I'm not listening to much because I'm grading papers, but I'm just going to keep naming like random rock groups just to piss you off so you can say intentionally. So I've been listening to a lot of Traffic. I do love Traffic. I don't know why I keep going. I love Stevie Winwood's voice. Steve Winwood's voice. And been listening to last week I got into like a major power pop vein. So like Eddie and the Hot Rods and Dwight Twilley and what was that group called? I don't want to lose your love. The Outfield. I am a hook girl. Give me a hook. Give me a hook. Give me a hook. That's why I don't like all this stuff. That's all.
She's a hooker.
I'm a hooker. No, but I do. So I've just been listening to a lot of stuff. We're all getting and the new Pet Shop Boys, which is great. I mean, that goes without saying. We're all looking forward to this week when the Jessie Ware record comes out, so we can obsess about that. So there's nothing really coming out now, right?
I've been obsessing over the new Everything But the Girl album. Fused,
oh, right,
which
that
I think is great. The melodies are great. The songwriting is great. It is the perfect follow-up to their 1999 album Temperamental, which had been their last album, until 24 years later. It's amazing.
Her voice sounds very different, right? Her voice is a little deeper now.
A little deeper, but I love it. The songwriting, the songwriting is great. They also, you can tell on some of the songs, they've actually played with her voice to give it different tones. And
that's what it is.
Things.
Yeah.
And the songwriting is great. And to me, this is the way you come back as a band, not trying to pick up on trends or not trying to say, well, let's just make this club bangery for all the house beats album, but really just show two people in their 60s making, as they always do, really beautiful, thoughtful pop music. And I'm also listening to the latest album from Jane. It's called The Fool. She is a French singer-songwriter, and it's really, I think you would actually like this record. It's a mix of a lot of things, kind of a funk and pop and rock and psychedelic rock, and it's really, really good. Okay. She's singing in English, so it's English, and just really smart.
Jane, like Jane,
Jain.
Oh, like, okay, it's probably okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else?
Just Knicks fever, because it's the Knicks this week. Tomorrow night's the next game. It's Tuesday.
Yelling at the TV.
Yelling at the TV. The Icy ladies are back out, so I'm very excited. The dollar ices that are now $2 for the small.
Yeah, but they always don't have the flavor you want.
Well, they actually, because I like a cherry. Can
someone one day?
I like cherry.
I love cherry.
And I like pineapple. It's harder to find the pineapple, but I like and I like a rainbow, and I like the coconut.
I like the coconut. I like the lemon. I still would like to know what blue is.
Or the green one, which is
What
supposed
is
to be
blue?
lime.
What flavor is
raspberry.
blue?
It's supposed to be blue raspberry.
Okay, yeah, those are two words that should never go together.
Mhm.
But yes, they're out though. They're out. Yeah, and listen. I love seeing. I like all sorts of chaos on the street. I'm all
Mhm.
for it, as long as it's not buildings and that kind of stuff. Well, it's always, if you live near schools, they're always there.
Right.
They make, like, they just roll up in front of schools, make a small fortune, but they
Mhm.
are, the blue. One day, I do like the lemon. I do like the coconut.
Mhm.
Are they $2 now?
They're like $2, Miss Thing.
Well, chemicals cost money.
Inflation has even hit the
Chemicals
ices.
cost. The cups are probably what cost money.
I
Oh, you
mean,
know what? You can get a mango one. Do you remember? Okay,
Mhm.
and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, there used to be this icy lady on the corner of Broadway and Houston,
Mhm.
right outside the subway stop, that sold like really, like real, like mango and papaya, and it wasn't like some hipster. It was like a
Mhm.
nice Mexican or Puerto Rican or something icy lady, and they were phenomenal. Oh
Mm-mm.
well, I'm just gonna
Mm-mm.
reminisce about stuff that has absolutely no meaning to anybody or anything other than me.
Reminisce. Ho!
All right, wrap it up.
Well, thank you, everybody. You know what it
Oh my
is.
God,
But-
again with the southern accent.
well, my people are
Stop.
from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, please. My people are from Hungary. Should I do the entire show next time in a language I cannot understand or speak?
Yes.
Okay. I got to learn a few words.
Absolutely. You
I
should.
do. Strudel. That's it. That's all I got.
You already named your cat that. So that's,
yeah, that's all I got.
doesn't-
That's all I got. That's all I got. Strudel. Okay.
You know what the deal is, people. Thank you for listening to I'ma Let You Finish. So wherever you listen to us, remember to leave a rating.
Please leave a rating. We
We
like to read about ourselves.
Leave a review. Share the show. Talk to
Yes.
your friends about us. We
Yes.
love talking to you at Facebook at I'ma Let You Finish, all one word. We love talking to you at Twitter, for now, at Finish Ima. We love to talk to you at TikTok at I'ma Let You Finish podcast. And, if you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you. On Apple, thank you. Deezer, Hulu. Not Hulu.
Hulu? Wait a minute.
There's so much shit.
Why
Amazon,
are you holding
Google.
that?
There's such a Stitcher, Deezer.
Listen, and if the Knicks win and you're either in Brooklyn or uptown, Courtney and I will be doing the show live because we'll be opening our windows and screaming at random people on the street.
And I will sing to you some tracks from my upcoming album, Hot Disaster.
Can I tell you the best thing about basketball, just for a second, then I'll let you sign out? The greatest thing for me about when it's basketball season is that I get to pretend like I really know anything fundamentally about the game. I do know, like, the obvious stuff, but I get to go, oh yeah, that's screen. I really don't know what that means, but the point is that I have spent 40 years pulling the wool over. I can sit in any bar with any old people and go, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. So that's my favorite thing, is I get to take on a false identity.
Oh,
Sorry,
I thought you were going to say
to...
hot men in shorts running up and down the court, sweating.
No.
Okay. Well,
you and I would never, ever, ever have an issue with picking up guys. There are a couple guys on the Knicks that are cute. I think Emmanuel Quickly is adorable, but he's like a Christian, like not the good kind of Christian. No, not the good kind of Christian.
What does that mean? I'm a Christian.
No, you're not a Christian. He's like an Allen Houston kind of Christian, I think.
What's an Allen Houston kind of? I don't even know what that means.
I think he's evangelical. That's what I mean.
Okay, I don't see if you like. I think
you don't see any problem with an evangelical.
I think true Christianity, not these freaks.
Christianity,
not these freaks who have taken
but that's
over.
What I'm saying.
But these
that's
freaks
what I'm saying.
Who we're seeing screaming and yelling.
I have no problem. I used to go to a church. I used to go to church. I have no problem with true Christianity. I have no problem with people who follow the words of Jesus.
We can't. What we're seeing is heretics and people who are really doing other things. So
I'm not.
I got to stand up for the Christians.
No, you did. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
No,
I have no problem with Christians.
Yes, absolutely.
I have problems with these fat. I'm not saying that. Listen, he's adorable. I think he's cute. That's all I want to say. He's very cute. I want him to keep playing. I've never had like a thing. I used to think Maurice Cheeks was really good looking. Is that weird?
Yes.
Okay.
and
Thanks.
on that note, kids,
I love Christians. I love
Yes.
Christians. I love Christians. I'm going
we
to go
love
out.
Christian, and
I
we love
love
our
Christian.
dad, Christian. Hey, Christian.
Hey, Christian. Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.